So today we're talking about revision and what exactly is revision. So we've been looking at how words work, and the base controls the meaning of the word, right? And the spelling. So the base of revise, V-I-S-E, means to see. So R-E plus V-I-S-E is rewritten as R-E-V-I-S-E means to see again, because R-E means again. And you could make so many words just built around V-I-S-E, but we're going to focus today. We're going to see just revise and revision. So R-E plus V-I-S-E plus S is rewritten as R-E-V-I-S-E-S. So we revise, she revises, R-E plus V-I-S, replace the E, plus I-O-N is rewritten as R-E-V-I-S-I-O-N, revision. It becomes a noun. We're going to be working on revision. And it means to see again. When we revise our writing, we review and see again to make sure our writing does its job. When we revise our writing, we choose a lens, one thing to look for. What will we receive today? Today's revision lens is leads. How's my lead? We're going to be asking ourselves. Today, we're going to work on revising the leads to our folk tales. We will look at a few ways to write a lead, and then you're going to try some out for your folktale. Even if you like the lead you have, revision is about trying new ideas to make your writing do its job even better. So a narrative lead is a promise. It's the very beginning of a story, the opening sentences or paragraph, or sometimes even a short chapter. Its purpose is to pull the reader in by setting the mood, helping them know, think, feel, or picture something important right away. A strong lead gives the reader clues about what kind of story this will be and makes a promise like, this is the kind of story you're about to read. In other words, the narrative lead sets the mood, helps the reader get oriented to visualize where they are and what's happening, shows what might become important later in the story, invites the reader to care about the character or situation, and it makes a promise. This will be the kind of story that this is what you can expect. And of course, sometimes the lead holds many secrets. You don't want to give everything away. So let's see a few so you can see what I mean. We're going to read a quick lead, and I just want you to think to yourself, what's the mood? What might be important? And what kind of story might this be? Once upon a time, in a place mostly forgotten by maps, something strange began to stir. What do you think the mood is here? What kind of story might this be? And what might be important? Just think about it, and you can turn and talk to the person next to you. You can just think and jot. All right, let's try another one. It started the moment I noticed the shadow that didn't belong to anyone. So what's the mood? What kind of story might this be? What might be important? Fog curled around the streetlights, soft and silver, as if the night were holding its breath. Think about the mood, what kind of story this might be, what might be important. I feel like the setting's going to be important in this story. Maybe a little mysterious. If my life had a warning label, it would have started flashing 5 minutes ago. What's the mood? What kind of story this might be? What might be important? Well, I think this might be have humor in it. You think? I thought you said you knew what you were doing, I shouted over the roaring wind. Sunlight danced on the waves, scattering little sparks of gold that made the whole shoreline shimmer. So hopefully you see that leads completely set the tone, the mood, and give a hint about what's to come. So our goal today is we're going to look at a few types of leads. You're going to write at least 3 types of leads. You might already have one, so then you would just write 2 new leads. You'll read your 3 leads and decide which lead best fits your story, and then you'll share them with a partner or somebody you think will give you good feedback, and ask questions. Why does your partner think this is the best fitting lead? So when you're doing this, you're going to ask yourself 3 questions. What do I want my reader to know, think, feel, and envision at the beginning of my story? What kind of promise will I make to my reader? This is the kind of story that. What are some strategies I can try so that my reader thinks, feels, and envisions what I want them to? You are in control here. So we'll look at a few different kinds. There's the action lead. When a character is doing something, I gulped my milk, pushed away from the table, and bolted out of the kitchen, slamming the broken screen door behind me. I ran down to our dock as fast as my legs could carry me. My feet pounded on the old wood, hurrying me toward my dad's voice. "Scott," he bellowed again. "Coming, Dad," I gasped. I couldn't see him yet, just the sails of the boats that I'd already put out into the lake for the day. So there's action. And I won't read this whole thing, but this is from Samir, right? He's getting stoned to death. He's screaming. He's running down the mountain. So these are great examples of action leads. You can pause and read this. The imagery or setting lead helps the reader visualize what's happening. Think about sight, smell, touch, taste, and sound. So Erie on Sea, you've got your book, reread that opening and you'll see how the writer really creates a mood and setting. Even the locals keep off the beach when darkness falls, and the wind howls around Maw Rocks and the wreck of the battleship Leviathan, where even now some swear they have seen the unctuous Malamander creep. Here's some more. If you want to read another one, this is a really good setting lead. You can pause. The dialogue lead, when people are talking. "Scott, get down here on the double," Dad bellowed. His voice sounded far away. "Dad," I hollered, "where are you?" I squinted through the screen door, but I couldn't see him. "I'm down on the dock. Move it. You're not going to believe this." His voice sounded urgent. "I'm coming," I yelled, bolting out the door and sprinting toward the lake. So thinking about action and dialogue, what kind of mood that sets? An inner thinking or a flashback lead, which gives insight into the character. It takes the reader to a time or event in the past, or it just lets you know what the character is concerned with. So my real name is John Coogan, but everybody calls me Crash, even my parents. It started way back when I got my first football helmet for Christmas. I don't really remember this happening, but they said that when my Uncle Herm's family came over to see our presents, as they were coming through the front door, I got down into a 4-point stance, growled, "Hut, hut, hut," and charged ahead with my brand new helmet. Seems I knocked my cousin Bridget clear back out the doorway and onto her butt into a foot of snow. They say she bawled bloody murder and refused to come into the house. So Uncle Herm finally had to drag his whole family away before they even had a chance to take their coats off. Like I said, personally, I don't remember the whole thing, but looking back at what I do remember about myself, I'd have to say the story's probably true. As far as I can tell, I've always been crashing into people, into things, you name it, with or without a helmet. So you've got a little flashback and a story into this character's life. So today you'll do some thinking about your folktale and crafting different leads to explore which lead strategy helps your writing to do its job of engaging and helping your reader to enter into your story. Now, this is a strategy that works for any kind of writing. So anytime you're revising and you want to choose a lens, this is a revision lens of leads, then this is a strategy. You're going to answer these questions and then you're going to try 3 strategies. 3 of these 4. And you can handwrite them or type them and turn them in. You'll have to show them to me and you'll turn everything in with your final draft. But this is an example from a student who wrote the original and then he tried an action lead and an inner thinking lead. And this is exactly what you're going to do. This writer chose a talking lead, then an action lead, and a flashback lead. So you are going to try 3 types of leads. Again, you can type them or you can write them after you answer these questions. And I can't wait to read what you write.